Hello and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you guys are at. It's great to be with you guys live again. And today I wanted to talk to you about the process of strategic planning. Last week we went over what it is and the benefits of strategic planning. So let's get right into the process. Now, as I mentioned last week in the live stream, every business should have a strategic plan, right? A strategic plan allows you to see what is important, how to get there, and the pitfalls to avoid, and the noise that we must ignore, right? There's so much noise to ignore through every process. It's that self chatter that we have going on each and every day. The actual planning process has 5 steps. And if you implement your strategy and repeat the steps on a regular basis, you will start to measure the progress towards achieving your company's vision or your vision. So let's take a look at the steps now. So, determining your strategic position. See, the first step is to determine that strategic position right away. See, the preparation phase sets the stage for all the work that is going to be going forward. You need to know where you are to determine where you need to go and how you will get there. I was just watching the Seattle game against Denver. Oh my gosh. And, they were doing so good. Curry came back, really helping out the team. And right at the end there in the fourth quarter, right? I'm like, all right, they're going to win the game. And then all of a sudden, Denver won. So go figure. You need to know where you're at on the court the whole time. So you need to be playing that game. You need to be in on the game each and every play. You need to know where you're at and where are you on the points. And can you draw a foul? Do you get closer? Because that spread was 8 to 12, 14 points throughout that whole game. And they got really, really close where they almost were they were only 2 points behind. And next thing you know, they were like 4 points behind. And that just wasn't going to cut it with only, I don't know, what was it, 7.9 seconds? So now you can see how important it is to get the right stakeholders involved from the start. They had to get their team involved. You have to get your team involved, considering both internal and external resources. See, we have to identify the key strategic issues by talking with executives at your company, pulling in customers' insights, and collecting the industry and market data that you may have available to you to get a clearer picture of your position in the market and in the minds of your customers. As I'm going forward here, if there's anything that perturbates you, that you have a question on, a comment, you just want to give a shout out, please do so below in the comment section. So let's get started. Use your industry and market data, including customer insights, right? Customer surveys, customer letters, reference letters, and current and future demands to identify the issues that need to be addressed for you and your company. Document your organization's internal strengths and its weaknesses, along with the external opportunities that exist and the threats. Now that the framework is all set up for your initial analysis, we use a thing called SWOT analysis. So you want to create a SWOT diagram for you guys with input from the executives, the customers, your external market data. You can quickly categorize and find your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. And this will clarify your position of where you're currently at on the court. As you really take a synthesized look at this information, your unique strategic position in the market will become clearer. And you can start solidifying a few key strategic objectives. Often, these objectives are set with 3 to 5 horizontal things in mind. So you really want to bring these across. The next step is to really prioritize these objectives. Once you have identified your current position in the market, it's time now to determine the objectives that will help you achieve your goals. Your objectives should be in line with your company's mission, statement, and their vision. See, we have to prioritize your objectives by asking important questions such as um, what types of impact are most important? Like example, customer acquisition or revenue, right? Which one? Which one are we looking at? Are we looking at both? Another one, we also need to like really what we need to accomplish our goals. What tools are we going to need? Or what partners are we going to have to be working with? Or what talent do we need that we don't have currently? Or what does our team already need, but they don't have it yet? So is it some type of training that we have to do on like continuing education? Another one would be, how do you actually measure our progress and determine whether we achieve our goals or not? These are all insights that we really need to prioritize and take a look at. See, objectives should be a distinct and measurable. These will help you reach your long-term strategic goals and the initiatives outlined in one step, right? Potential objectives can be updating website content, improving emails, your open rate on those emails, and new leads in the pipeline. And by using SMART goals, you can determine a timeline and identify the resources needed to achieve the goals, as well as like key performance indicators like KPIs that we're used to make the success really measurable. And if you can really make these successes measurable, you could probably repeat these on an ongoing basis. Next, what we want to do is we want to really develop a plan. So when we look at this, you need to create a strategic plan to successfully reach your goals. This step requires determining the tactics necessary to attain your objectives and designating a timeline and clear communication of each responsibility. Strategic mapping is an effective tool to visualize your entire plan. It's like a visual board for you, working from top down. Strategic maps make it simple to view business processes and identify the gaps for any types of improvement that you really need. True strategic choices usually involve a trade-off in opportunity cost. For example, your company may decide to, I don't know, maybe put as much funding behind the customer support so that it can like really put more funding into creating an initiative user experience, right? You ever look at how good that experience is that the users are having and how can you make it better? We have to be prepared to use your values, your mission statements, and establish priorities to say no to initiatives that won't enhance your long-term strategic position. If you're not doing that, you just got to say no to it. I mean, really. The next step is to execute and manage the plan. This is where sometimes owners and managers will lose sight of things, even you, as a salesperson or an operations person. We just lose sight of it. Once you have the plan, you're ready to implement it. First, communicate the plan to the organization by sharing relevant documentation. Then the actual work actually begins. Turn your broader strategy into concrete plans. You do this by mapping your processes. Use the KPI dashboard to clearly communicate the team's responsibilities. You have to identify who's accountable and who's responsible. Most likely, you will be accountable. Maybe you're giving that accountability to someone else. But many of us can be responsible. We're all responsible in one shape or form. But what is it that we're actually responsible to? This approach illustrates the complex completion process and ownership for each of the steps along the way. So you could have 1, 2, 3, you could have 20. So as you're going through this process, make sure that this complex process has ownership. And whoever is responsible knows it and what they're responsible to. And don't forget to set up a regular review with individuals and the contributors and their superiors to determine the check-in points to make sure that they're on track, you're on track, and where do we have to make up time. So that brings us to step number 5. Now on to this final plan. I love this because what we do here is we review it and revise it. A lot of people fail this step. This will give you the opportunity to really reevaluate your priorities and course correction if necessary. It's based on your past successes or your failures. In some cases, I've watched people fail on these type of plans and then they never want to go back and try it again because they've got that taste aversion to what happened in the past. See, we need to reevaluate these two on a quarterly basis. It's so critical to determine which KPIs your team has met and how you can continue to meet them, adapting your plan as necessary. Then on an annual basis, it's important to reevaluate the priorities and the strategic position to ensure that you stay on track for successes for the long haul, especially for the upcoming year. Track your processes using balanced scorecards. Everyone should be able to see these, especially your supervisor or the people that you're managing. This is going to be able to provide you a comprehensive understanding of your business's performance and execute strategic goals. Over time, you may find that your mission and your vision need to change just a little bit, or maybe a lot, determining where you started out at. An annual evaluation is going to really help, and it's a good time to really consider those changes, prepare a new plan, and implement the change again. See, if nothing changes, nothing changes. We get stuck into a rut where it's like the front of our seam of our pants. It has that nice little folded area on our dress slacks, and that's folded. That's just how things happen, and then we react. We fail to create, and creating takes so much more energy than just reacting. This way, instead of always putting out fires and cowboying it up, we're reacting to the competition or focusing on the latest hot button issue or initiative that took place. See, you'll be able to maintain that long-term perspective and make decisions that will keep you on the right path for success for years to come. I mean, doesn't that sound exciting? In some cases, some people just get caught up into the everyday norm of just putting out fires. So let's just see if there's any comments, concerns, or little shout outs. So let's see. Thank you. Great and energetic presentation. Well, thanks. That's called having lunch first before starting out. Did it take you a while before you were actually good at strategic planning? Oh my gosh. I'm still working on strategic planning. But yeah, you need to start somewhere. And it takes a lot of time and preparation to put this information together in a format that is easy to be understood by yourself and for others. So when you start this out, maybe ask some questions. Ask people how they do strategic planning and really look at what is going to be beneficial for you. And, core values like integrity really help you stay on track. And, what you're up to, your way of being is so important. So being here now in the present moment and moving forward is really beneficial. So it all depends what you want in your life. Let's move on to the next one. Thank you, Cindy. Rebecca, it's really hard to get this information in form of feedback. When you are starting from scratch, please touch that part for startups. Well, it all starts with your business plan. So as you're putting together your business plan, you're getting your seed funding, or you're going with financing and getting your A round, definitely do this before you do your B round of getting additional financing, and you're getting either venture capital or private equity, and or even through the private sector. when you're doing these things, you really want to just start out and say, where am I going? Right? I usually start with a 10-year plan. And we put our 10-year plan together about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. And we just said we're going to get to $1.8 billion. And that was all based on statistical averages and modeling. So when we put together our plan, what we were going to do, now we just had to go ahead and start coming up with yearly plans. Really broke it down into like three, three, and three, so that we would have a little bit of extra cushion to move in there. And so we basically took it like a hero's journey, and then took it into three acts: Act One, Act Two, and Act Three. So we're still in the first act, which is great. So we'll be finishing that act up by the end of this year. Once we finish that up, it's great. So then we move into the next one. So in that, you really want to look at the year plan. What are we doing for the year? And it's be like right now, I decided I'm going to go ahead and lose some weight, and I'm going to go on a diet starting June 1st. So why not now? Well, it's just not going to work. So I'm calling it June 1st. So June 1st, I'll probably be losing about 20 pounds. So I'll be looking skinny again. I'll start working out again, running again, and all that other good stuff. So I will get my temple into order. Well, in that, there's going to be some things that I have to do. Talking to a coach, talking to a dietitian, setting up a cleanse, coming up with a workout schedule, calling my buddy Dan and saying, hey, Dan, let's get that workout schedule put together properly. So all of these are going to take time and energy. So once again, we're creating. And creating takes a lot of energy. Reacting, there's not much reacting. Do I watch TV or do I go to bed? That's reacting. That is a choice that you have, but you set yourself up so that you don't have to make a choice and put it on your calendar. If you master time, you can master anything. But thank you, Rebecca. John, thank you very much. Nice job. That's wonderful. Full. Thank you very much. Well, I just want to finish up here. We're getting close to the ending time. We got about 2 minutes. But in conclusion, effective planning allows a business or yourself to accomplish important goals and will help teams function more effectively. Understanding the various steps of planning process is key to planning well. And if you plan well, you'll get there. Thank you again from Jill. Jill Jasper, good to see you, girl. We went to high school together. Again, great information to start off a Monday. Do you have a case of the Mondays? We watched Office Space this weekend. It was fun. We wanted to laugh, so it was great. So if you have any questions about strategic planning, send me a message, DM me, and let's connect. And don't forget, if you can, please like this message. You made it this far. Go ahead and like that, this post. And then also leave a little comment. And there's a little share button. If you want, go ahead and share. Also, if you go to my homepage, right, Jim Becker 3PL, go ahead and hit follow me. And then once you do, there's a little bell in the top right-hand corner right underneath the top header. Just click on that. That way, every time that we go live, you'll get notified right away. And it'll say Jim Becker's live. So thank you very much. I appreciate you guys joining us. I hope you guys have a blessed week. God bless.